Hello, absolutely nobody, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Considering this is only my second video ever uploaded to this channel, I suspect absolutely nobody is going to watch this within the first 5 months. So yeah, today I'm just going to be playing around with a couple of craft I made here in Kerbal Space Program .90. It is the 2nd of January 2015. Happy New Year's to absolutely no one, because you're not watching. Considering that the newest update, .90, brought in beta, Kerbal Space Program beta, as well as a whole bunch of space, or not space plane, but, well, yes, space shuttle parts. I've been making things with them. And I have made this! This! I made a space shuttle like everybody else has in the past, like, month and a half that this has been out. And this is my take on the space shuttle. It can hold quite a bit. I haven't quite got it working properly yet, considering it doesn't fly like a normal space shuttle. As you can see, the main fuel tank has its own engines on it, which means it's terribly unbalanced and does all sorts of weird stuff when you try to fly it. It does backflips and well, it did do backflips. I've kind of figured out a way to fix that. And we're going to fly it, and I'm going to show you. Damn it. Show you how it flies. Yes. Time warp. Yes. Yes, okay. As you can see, I do have MechJeb installed. It is the only mod I have installed, and I don't use it very often. That's on, throttled up. What else do I have to do? No, that'll be good. Go! It does indeed fly upwards in an upward motion, very slowly. Let's see, Jeb is like normal, very happy. Bill is uncertain, and Bob is terrified, pissing himself like every other day of the week. Fantastic. So as you can see, so far so good on this flight. Nothing goes wrong. But the catch of this ship is as these tanks slowly drain, the back becomes lighter, which means that these larger engines on the bottom want to push harder because there's less to push, meaning the ship will want to do a backflip. And as it tries to do that backflip, I have linked some of these smaller engines here on the bottom to action groups. Those action groups make it so I can turn off the engines one at a time, which you will see. There, I turned off one. Slowly, as this tries to push itself in one direction, which I believe it's in this way, yes, I will turn off the engines one by one. Slowly but surely, keeping the ship pointed straight upwards where it's supposed to go, because it's going to space, and space is upwards, as we all know. Or downwards if you live in Australia, because logic. The ship is doing quite well so far. Let's turn the lights on, because why not? The problem with the Mark III cockpit, the nice new one, is it has no interior. There's nothing to look at. I don't like this. Why is this like this? That bothers me. You can see the moon just over the horizon there, looking all lunar and stuff. We're still going up. Alright, we're about 10 kilometers up. I'm going to start my gravity turn. Those of you who do not know what a gravity turn is, it is using... I don't know, to be honest. All I know is you turn over to make the orbit a little more fuel efficient, or getting into orbit a little more fuel efficient. Yes. Once these boosters go, I'm going to jettison them and roll my craft. You will see what I mean by roll, if you do not already know. There we go. Those will fall away. And I will roll the craft. I'm not going to lie, this is very difficult with WASD. This would be a lot easier if I was using some kind of control stick. Much better, okay. Alright. The reason I do that is because these engines will always want you to point up. If you were flipped the other way, your ship would try to fling itself into the ground, and that's bad. That is very bad. Let's see how high our apoapsis is. the apoapsis is the highest point in your orbit, for those of you who do not know that. We're still going up. You're doing fine on fuel. As you may have recognized or noticed before I started flying, there is no cargo in the cargo bay, because I have not quite tweaked the ship perfectly to carry large payloads. Or anything for that matter. They can carry small things like satellites and Kerbals. But nothing substantial. So you can also notice I have many engines on the side here and one giant one. The one giant one just makes it look nice. The jet engines are for re-entry and landing. But once I get into orbit, or close to an orbit, up in that general space vicinity, I have an action group bound to turn off all engines except for these two small ones, which properly line up with the center of mass. So the thing doesn't try to flip or do anything else that I don't want it to do. As you can see, it's starting to pitch further. I'm going to hit 8 and turn off some more engines. Much better. See where it is. I want it up near 100. Excellent. Let's bring this down a bit. One thing I wish Kerbal Space Program had is when you were in the map view, it showed your control-y whatnots. But it doesn't, so oh well. 98. 99. 100. Excellent. Wait. Let's add a maneuver node. Yes. Get me into orbit. Or, well. What was it? 94. 104. Let's. Ooh, wrong one. 91. Wait. 98. 100. Good enough. What that did was it gave me a thing to point at. So I pointed that. My pilots have the ability to point at said things. Or Jeb, he is the pilot. And as you can see, there is now things here. For those of you who don't normally play this game, or I don't know why you're watching me if you don't normally play this game, but whatever, I'm not going to question it. So this is how long or how much fuel in meters per second you have to burn to reach the projected orbit. This is the length of time. This is how long until you reach this point. My rule is I usually take the estimated burn time, divided that in half, and then wait for this to reach that number. So for about 60 seconds, I'll wait till about 30 seconds. That usually, well, let's go 35, just in case. You can't be too careful in this game. So as you can see, some of these engines are turned off. This means they're on. No liquid fuel doohickey means they're off. This also indicates how much fuel you have in this tank. These tanks. So you can see this one's off. Wait. I don't know why that one's off. Oh yes. That one, and that one are off to counteract the immense thrust that this provides. Oh, we've reached 35. Okay, let's go. As you can see, it's slowly starting to work its way to want to go that way again. So we'll turn off a couple of those engines. Excellent. Now these two on each side are off. And now we just wait. We wait and we burn. We burn and we wait. Let's turn off a couple more engines. As you can see, as it pushes this way, it wants to do a backflip. Don't think there's only one more engine I have to turn off, and I'm pretty sure that last action group is not set to that engine. Let's try. No. No, it wasn't. So now we leave it up to the RCS to do its job. As that continues to push ever harder. You can always select this large engine and mess with the thrust limiter, but I tend not to do that because that makes everything a pain in the ass. Running out of fuel. We are also getting much closer to this. Wait till this red X becomes a green check mark, and that usually means you're about there. 11, 10, 9, 8. You want to get this as close to 0 as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good enough. Boom. And then we have Jeb face towards the prograde, which is the forward. Retrograde is backwards. We look at our map, and boom! Let's see, 100, 97, not bad. As you can see, we are now in orbit. Orbit is basically falling, but always missing. Fantastic. This is my shuttle in space. It's brilliant and attractive. Next! Get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Go away. This is where you would deploy your satellites, do all the fun stuff. As you can see, now I've activated the two general movie around engines in space. As I said, they are properly lined up with the center of mass. If you are not properly lined up with the center of the mass, the ship does what it was trying to do earlier and does backflips and forward flips and all sorts of unpleasantry things. But yes. So, while we're in space, I will describe what engines my ship has and why. It has all of these small radial engines, simply to counterbalance the thrust of the main engine. It has this one giant engine simply because, why not? It makes it look good. And then the 4 jet engines, as I said, on the ground are for re-entry. That's basically it. I made a makeshift docking node area thing, like the real space shuttle. That's pretty much all it has in common with the real space shuttle, other than the cockpit kind of looks space shuttle-y-ish, kind of. And it has the NASA logo on it. That's about it. But that's my space shuttle. I've never been able to actually land it at the KSC properly. I always overshoot and have to spin around and flip around and land the wrong way. Oh, also, I almost forgot. Let's see here. No, go that way. Going. My ship has VTOL engines. Mostly for landing on the moon, which I haven't done yet before. So yes, it has those. It uses these same large radial attached engines, just kind of hidden inside the fuel tanks. Also, these fuel tanks are completely separate from the main fuel tanks hidden in here that fuel this engine and these engines. Pretty much these engines are only used in the lifting stage. These two are both used in the lifting stage as well as moving around orbit. This engine, shits and giggles. That's it. What else? Air intakes, wings, people, well, kerbals. That's about it. Let's go land. Let's go see if I can figure out how to land at the Kerbal Space Center. Um. Hmm. First, we will time warp around until I'm somewhere over here-ish, I think. Yeah, it sounds about right. Flying. Oh, that music. So good. It's excellent. Okay, that's about good. We then force retrograde. Ooh, bit of lag. Just a wee bit. Retrograde. Damn it, Jeb. This is why we can't have nice things. Point in the correct direction. Much better, okay. I'm going to roll to be facing this way, just because it looks nice. I will then go to the map view and throttle up. This will slow me, causing my periapsis, the bottom point of my orbit, to go down. Well, that's much more balanced than I thought it was. That's perfect. I haven't tested this part very much yet, so now as you can see, we are burning downwards, causing our periapsis to come down. I'll be getting this to about, I'd say somewhere around here, because then the atmosphere will break us to come somewhere around here, and we can use our jet engines to fly the rest of the way. Coming down, keep coming, keep coming. You're good, you're good, you're good, come on. You're good. Feels good. Kerbals are good. Wow, Bob's actually happy. That's weird. Something must be horribly wrong with the Kerbal time continuum. Whatever that is. We're still coming down. How about that weather? Looks fine. Okay. Still coming down. Still coming down. Down, 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 down. What did I say? Somewhere like right here-ish. Maybe. Yeah. Now let's put it right on the Kerbal Space Center, which is in this little area here. This little light patch. And cut the engines. Excellent. I will now face forward so I can glide into the atmosphere. Well, that's awkward. I should really lock the gimbal on most of those, or have an action group that does it. I'm going to turn on the RCS so Jeb can control the ship better, because he's not good at that anyways. Alright. So if I recall, for my action groups, let's test them. Number 1 is shut down all engines. Number 2 is maneuvering engines. Ooh, number 1 is shut down all engines and toggle cargo bay. Interesting. 2 is maneuvering engines. 3 is the jet engines. 4 is the doom engine. 5 is the VTOL engines. 6 does nothing. Okay. 1. Oh no! Number 1 doesn't shut down the VTOL engines. Shit. Shut down. Remind me to fix that later. Yeah, that's a good idea. Shut down. Shut down. Where's the last one? Shut down there. Alright, cool. And then I will hit number 2 to activate the maneuvering engines. Okay. That's going kind of far. Let's hit the gas a little bit just to bring it up to the actual space center. Let's bring it beyond the space center, because the planet is indeed spinning. And as the planet spins below you, your landing location moves. Alright, let's time warp. As you can see, there's a bar here with your... Yes, okay. So this has your height. It also has this little thing, which is the atmosphere. We are currently have to scale out of the atmosphere. As we fall, we will enter the atmosphere. Simple enough. Yes. Okay. U is lights. Excellent. I like lights. As you can see, the arrow is dropping. This is very thin atmosphere. Thicker and thick. We're getting kind of low there. Yeah, that'll be fine. Also, I'm time warping. That is time warp. Don't do that in the atmosphere. That's bad. You will die. Alright, let's turn on my jet engines. Prepare for re-entry. I don't know how well this is going to go. It has been a couple weeks since I have done this. Anybody who watches this who also plays this game and is more knowledgeable than me, do you know if wings block RCS thrusters? Because if so, then that needs to be removed, as you can see. Alright, here we go. We've got the atmospheric effects taking hold on our craft as we re-enter the atmosphere. Bill, Jeb, and Bob, all stoic at the moment, waiting for their inevitable doom. Ooh, apparently things are going well, because Bob isn't pissing his pants. Good. Excellent, excellent. You can also see how long we've been in flight, or outside of the vehicle assembly building, at least. You can see how fast we're going compared to the surface. If you click this, it switches to orbital speed. Not sure what the difference is. There's probably something important going on there. This craft is holding quite steady, actually. Usually it's doing backflips and doing horrible things by now, and I have to engage the Doom engine to get it going in a forward direction. Looks like we're coming down on the mountains of Kerbin. I really should have just used MechJeb to properly land us near the Kerbal Space Center. But no use crying over spilt milk. Alright, the atmospheric effects are slowing down, as cued by the sound. If you could not hear, there was a loud roaring sound when the fire was at its prime. It has now started to die down. If you are going quick enough inside the atmosphere, instead of those being red, they will be white. And those will be signs of supersonic flight. We are now turning on the jet engines. That... Don't pay attention to that, that was nothing. That was the game incorrectly assuming where my craft was. God, we're slowing down. That's bad. Because that's a mountain. We don't want to say hello to that. I do not remember. Oh, wait a minute. I need. Fuck! I closed the air intakes. Shit, 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 shit! Tube engine! Save me. Okay. Thank you. Yes, that's what I use that for. Occasionally, the ship gets wonky. So, I have to hit that in order to keep it going forwards. God, this mountain. Why are you in my face, mountain? Okay, fuck it. We're going forward. Nope, nope, nope. That was number one. I wanted number two. That'll do. We'll just use these. And we're still slowing down. Shit. Well, this may be an untimely end for our 3 Kerbonauts. But I don't plan to let it. Okay, yes I do. Oh god! No! Well, shit. Well, I think I have some tweaking to do. We will test another iteration sometime later. But in the next video, I will show you another shuttle I made pre 9.0. It works a lot better than this one. Ta-ra!